Diving right into Death Knight. Let's see. First class talk about is gonna be Death Knight. What has happened to Death Knight, and let's check it out and see what they say. So this is the class itself. Death and decay more damage, and holy endurance. It reduces the cooldown of Lichborn by 30 seconds with reduced damage taken. Okay. So extra CDR on Lichborn. Sacrificial pack being removed. Deathbringer. They're adding more talent choices to Deathbringer because once again, every single hero talent is gonna be enhanced by having additional nodes you can choose talents from. So they're adding more stuff to a Death Knight. Deathbringer, they're adding Reaper's Mark increase your critical strike chance by 10% for 8 seconds. Absolutely insane, by the way. Frost strike damage increase 5%, Glacial advance 5%. That pretty much means more ST, more AoE, and Blood strike damage by 5% useless. Echoing Fury new talent. Reaper's Mark deals 5% increased damage. Casting Frost Worm Fury, gain 2 stacks of Exterminate. I don't think you're playing Frost Worm Fury talent anyway right now. Maybe you're gonna play it next expansion. Reaper's okay, that's for Frost, by the way. Rider of the Apocalypse, Dark Transformation, summons White Mane for 6 seconds. That's whatever. Pillar of Frost summons Throwbane for 6 seconds. Okay, that doesn't sound as cool, to be honest with you. New talent, Deathko Epidemic orders White Mane to cast her Deathko Epidemic alongside with 125 effectiveness. Passive damage, and it's pretty strong, by the way. Sanlin, what has happened to Sanlin? Any new stuff? Vampiric Strike increases damage of your permanent ghost or dancing weapon by 10 seconds. For 8 seconds. Seems like they're mostly adding passive shit. Frost Decay. Implementing better tuning knobs that allow you for 2 prominent builds, Frostbane and Bretis and Dragoso, to be able to compete in single target situations. We also updating Obliterate to be partially dealing frost damage so that we can fine-tune the throughput difference between casting it with Killing Machine or without what we believe is needed. Aha! Apex talent for Frost Decay is Frostworm Fury. And gives you haste. Wait, isn't haste pretty bad for Frost Decay? Chat, any Frost Decays in the chat mains? Isn't haste pretty bad for you anyway? Casting Frostworm Fury grants you 50 running power. Carrying it grants you 1 or 2 stacks of Killing Machine. Okay. Obliterate updated. 2-hand, a brutal attack that deals physical and frost damage. Okay, so it's both. Do away the brutal attack with both weapons that deals a total of physical and frost damage. Okay, so Obliterate doesn't do only physical damage anymore. It's physical and frost, which is gonna make your Chaos Brand value slightly higher here on single target. All right, let's see about Unholy. So Unholy got significantly more reworks. They're pretty much trying to shift your damage from you doing damage to your pet doing damage. Let's see what they're gonna do to Unholy. But I'm gonna go with Unholy Decays to deliver a fantasy and a gameplay that is truly embody what is meant to be a master of disease and raising the dead. We found Festering Wound to be mechanically overbearing and decided to move it away from it. Okay, so Festering Wound deleted? Question mark. We're overhauling the core abilities of the spec to create a new rotation that interacts with more deeply with your diseases and summon powers. Love that, by the way. Deliver the vision, we've introduced a new type of summon called Lesser Go, placing it at the heart of Unholy baseline rotation. Festering Strike now grants a buff that empowers your next couple of Scourging Strikes to summon a Lesser Go, instead of applying a debuff to a single enemy that needs to be spread and tracked through an encounter. We've also updating the Army of Death to summon these new Lesser Goes and restoring it as Unholy primary cooldown by reducing it cooldown by 1.5 minutes. No, reducing cooldown to 1.5 minutes. So this is your next major cooldowns though. That's pretty much your major cooldowns right now. Army of Death being 1.5 minutes. It's pretty good. So instead of tracking all of this shit, all you gotta do is track your Lesser Goals now. You're gonna be summoning pets like Diablo 4, for example, Demon Hunter. We recognize that simply having a cool way to summon armies of death doesn't necessarily create meaningful gameplay. That led us to design a new rune spending ability called Putrefy. The third rotation partner alongside Festering Strike and Scourge Strike. With Putrefy, you will sacrifice your already summoned Lesser Ghosts to explode and deal shadow damage to nearby enemies. If intentionally place Putrefy early into the specialization to enable further fun and meaningful interactions you can opt into. And for those wondering about targeting, don't worry, we've got you covered. Just press the button and enjoy the show as your lesser goal explodes spectacularly. Yo, so they're making Unholy Decay easier or what? You don't have to care about stacks or track debuffs. All you gotta do is explode your ghost. That's pretty much reminds me of what do you call this demonology warlock shit that explodes the imp? Not explosion, implosion. Yes, this kind of reminds me of implosion from the from demonology warlock, but it's Unholy Decay. Like you're gonna be exploding your pets inside AoE, which is gonna be the main AoE damage here. So pretty much full pet build from Unholy Decay. Now we've covered summoning, let's talk about diseases. In Midnight, we're introducing a new single target disease called Dread Plague, which will work alongside your AoE disease, Virulent Plague. As with summoning, simply apply cool diseases isn't enough, so we're redefining some core abilities and bringing running power spenders like Death Coil and Epidemic into the mix. Scorching Strike will now cause your disease to inflict additional tick of their periodic damage at a percentage of their effectiveness, while your running power spenders will extend their durations. Aha! So this kind of gives you an idea of actually passively enhancing your damage by doing your rotation, because spenders and generators will both increase the damage or the duration of your disease. That's pretty good, by the way. It sounds pretty easy. Extending disease duration becomes important because we're also introducing a powerful disease consumption mechanic via Blight Burst. When talented into the Blight Burst, the explosion effect of Putrefy will consume a significant portion of your diseases. Remaining duration on deal that amount of damage instantly. Wow. So this sounds like a snapshotting mechanic here, by the way. So you can snapshot your diseases by exploding them, and also the more uptime you have, the more damage you're gonna do. So pretty much you wanna be doing spenders before the explosion, you know, in a sense. Leveraging the concept of Lesser Go and Putrefy, we aim to unify the Summoner and Master of Disease fantasies. We hope you will find all of the other talents we introduce fun and engaging, especially the new Apex talent. Check it out. Army of Death siphons the power of Fallen, transforming Death Coil and Epidemic into Necrotic Coil and Graveyard for 15 seconds. Wow. So they enhance. So pretty much Death Coil is Pikachu and Necrotic Coil is Raichu, the empowered version. Necrotic Coil unleashes a vortex of necrotic energy bone, dealing physical damage up to 3 foes and shadow damage to all pierced enemies. So that's soft cap. This is everything. I love that. No more caps. Okay. Graveyard Death erupt beneath evolved foes, version and plague, dealing shadow damage and shadow damage to enemies nearby. Wow, okay. I love that, by the way, chat. This the new talent you're gonna be playing around. Putrefy. Decay your oldest lesser go under your command over 2 seconds. Have them explode and do shadow damage to nearby enemies. This is uncapped shadow damage, by the way. Uncapped. I wanna mention it again. Uncapped shadow damage once they explode. Lesser goals do not expire while decaying. Max 2 charges. So your goals will never expire. So you can stack like 50 of them and explode. What? Yo, your FPS will get nuked. This new talent, Ancient Runes, sounds like Festermite. Each rune consumes increased strength by 2 seconds for 20 seconds. Multiple applications might overlap. Yeah, this sounds like a fucking Festermite. Okay. A lot of new stuff. I'm gonna skip all of this because we're gonna be testing later on. A lot of new stuff here. A lot of talents being removed too. Apocalypse removed, Bursting Swords removed, Death Rod removed, Defile removed, Decomposition, Desecrate, Eternal Agony, Fester Might has been deleted, Legion of Souls, which is the best talents they've had this season, deleted, Pestilence deleted, Soul Reaper, Unholy Blight, Rotten Touch, Plague Bringer also deleted. Wow. They're doing a complete 360 on Unholy Decay, bro. This sounds super exciting for Unholy Decay. I'm not gonna lie, chat. Big W so far. Demon Hunter, few talents got removed. Baseline. Neither of them important except Precise Sigils. I don't like that one. Sigil Flame is now only Vengeance specialization. That's good. And they shuffled some of the core talents. Fine. Checking what they've done so far. Devourer. Unfortunately, Devourer is not included in the article. They are not ready to release all the details here, okay? Havoc DH. Let's see what they've done. Midnight brings target charges to Havoc focused on 2 key areas, reducing total button count of both offensive and defensive utility ability. Wait. Total button count on both offensive and defensive / utility abilities. Well, deleting utility of Havoc? Oh, hold up a second. Especially when they have a overlapping identity or functional redundancy. Simplifying circumstances of conditional bonuses that warp ability usage in uninitiative ways, especially those that stem from overlapping buff windows. So they're trying to simplify the spec by providing more passive damage, I would assume. Many skills have been changed or removed, including talents that with unclear or overly niche purpose. Large multiplicative skill bonuses have been changed to or removed to make room for Havoc natural gameplay to be fun. Apex talents not yet available to be tested. What are they changing then? Blood now reduces damage taken by additional 10%. Additional damage taken below 35 health is reduced by 10%. Nether Walk has been redesigned. Now a passive skill. Slip into the nether when you activate Blur, increasing movement speed by 100% and becoming immune to damage for 2.5%. What? Wait a second. So Nether Walk doesn't exist anymore, but every time you press Blur, you become immune to damage for 2.5 seconds. And you get 100% increased movement speed. What is the cooldown of Blur? Isn't Blur like 60 seconds cooldown? So every minute you have immunity. My god. This is crazy, boys. Demon Blades automatically override Demon's Bite. Blood reduces damage by 25 and no longer increases dodge chances. Following class 3 talents have been moved to Havoc Talent 3. So the Hunt is gonna be available only to Havoc or what? Following talents being removed from Havoc. Fail Barrage removed. Fail Eruption. Fail Eruption is a second target stun. Looks can kill. Improve Fail Rush. Insatiable Hunger, Restless Hunter also removed. Damn, that sounds fucking juicy, boys. Alright, moving to Druid chat. Gift of the Wild. Mark of the Wild is 100% more effective on you. So you're gonna be getting a passive extra 3% versatility on yourself only. That's pretty cool though. They're redesigning Heart of the Wild, which is gonna be like an extra defensive, I guess, because it's gonna give you 30% more health during bear form. Pretty juicy though. I like that. Let me check if something else here matters. School Bash no longer available to Restoration Druid. Wow. Wait, what? Wait, isn't School Bash the interrupt to Restoration Druids? Or what? Am I tripping, chat? Also, they're removing Renewal. So, the Restoration Druids have no kicks anymore. They're removing Nature's Vigil, which is the off healing they did. And they're removing Renewal, which is the extra defensive they had. It's like a health stone. Okay. Interesting here, changes for Druids. I want to check something here. Keeper of the Groove, passive damage, yada yada yada. I want to check. Alright, let's talk about Balance Druid. Let's see what they did to Balance Druid. Design of how you enter and maintaining clips is changing in Midnight. We would like to introduce more gameplay to it. Eclipse before midnight is so important that you immediately drop everything to refresh when it ends. Of course, there is no timing or strategy to it, and it can be struggled during phases with high movement. In midnight, lunar eclipse and solar eclipse are active abilities. Huh? Instant after eclipse 15 seconds has 30-second cooldown. Aha! So it has, so your eclipses will be buttons with 2 charges. So you're gonna have 2 charges of lunar eclipse and 2 charges of solar eclipse. And each charge has 30-second cooldown, which pretty much means you won't have eclipse for every single fight. I mean, you're gonna have, but not the one you want. The goal of a balance is to prepare for each eclipse and choose the perfect moment to activate it, depending on talents and the pacing of a fight. You're gonna have 60 to 80% uptime of the eclipse. A timeout for eclipse building resources or refreshing dots to prepare for your next eclipse. Balance Master has been changed so Sunfire and Moonfire no longer increase damage targets take, and Wanting Twilight has been removed. This allows Balance to start dealing damage faster and improves its strengths in split cliff fights. Moonfire and Sunfire damage will be tuned to keep them as strong, efficient damage dealing spells, but the damage of other spells will be less conditional. Wait a second. Does that mean you'll be getting versatility Balance Druid instead of Mastery? Apex Talents for Balance Druid. Activating Eclipse makes your next Rat Sunfire instant. The first 3 status surges of the Tatterfalls you cast during each eclipse deals more damage. Critical strike dealt during an eclipse cause their victims to languish for additional 20 to 40% of damage done for 6 seconds. Activating Eclipse also launches solar and lunar bolts at nearby enemies that always critical strike. That's pretty much about Apex Talents. Ancient Eclipses. I love that, by the way. That means pretty much passive damage. Let me check if there's any cool talents. Cooldown will give reduced by 2 seconds, whatever. Is there any cool shit here, guys? Every time Starfall deals damage, a meteor falls on the target in its range. Okay. Mastery redesign. Astral Invocation has been updated. Your nature spells deal 0.75% increased damage was 0.5, and your arcane spells deal 0.75. Moonfire Sunfire no longer causes target to make additional damage from your spells. Aha! So Mastery right now is a flat damage increase instead of relying to applying Sunfire and Moonfire dots. This pretty much makes Balance Druid much easier, which means you don't have to apply Sunfire and Moonfire to your targets to do damage. You can just do damage instantaneously. That's pretty much what it means. Interesting. Casting Starfire or Moonfire or Rat no longer enters Eclipse. That's fine. Hello, Gem. Interesting, guys. This is actually a very good change. Following talents has been removed. Astral Smolder, Stellar Flare, Astronomical Impact, Umbral Inspiration, Warrior of Loon. Okay. Overall, pretty good changes for Balance, by the way. Feral Druid is changing in Midnight to address some important mechanics that are based on information that is hidden over the player. Bleed Snapshotting, where the damage a bleed deals is increased for its entire duration, is now applied only by Tiger's Fury and Prow. The icons of Empowered Bleed changed to show they are strengthened. Blood Talons has been removed. Wow, they're removing Blood Talons, which made the spec pretty hard. Now it's gonna be fucking cookie cutter spec. These changes also aim to reduce the complexity that could go into choosing the best builder to use in moments, putting more of Feral focus on maintaining bleeds and building a spending combo points. While some abilities like Brutal Slash and Adaptive Swarm have been removed, Feral has gained some new tricks that lean into flavor as Deadly Hunting Cats. Fractic Frenzy is a multi-target upgrade to a Feral Frenzy, and Blood Spatter makes them even stronger. So they're removing Brutal Slash, Adaptive Swarm, and Blood Talons. So they're making the Feral Druid significantly easier though. Yo, don't spoil what was gonna happen, chat. Let's blind react to that shit. We're still at the beginning, okay? Love that and thank you. Apex Talents for Feral Druid. Ferocious Bite has 75% chance to flicker to a nearby enemy and deliver unseen attack Does that mean you want to actually bite in AoE all the time instead of using the bites only when you have them a free? Slash target dealing physical damage and additional bleed damage over 6 seconds. Interesting. I love that. New talents, bleed damage increased, more prior damage. Chomp can only be used when you have less than 30 energy, 20 seconds cooldown. Wow, bro, they're actually working on an energy issue for Pharaoh. Look at his talent. Chomp your target causing physical damage. Chomp can only be used when you have less than 30 energy. So this has been an issue for Pharaoh Druid for a long time. Energy starvation on single target. So now they're actually flipping the script and making that thing a benefit to you. Wow. God damn. Okay, boys. I'm excited for Pharaoh Druid. Enemy affected by rip dice gain 10 energy and your damage dealt increase. Wow, bro. What? Even extra energy. Look at this. When enemy dies from rip, you gain energy and damage dealt is increased by 5% for 8 seconds. Stacking up to 5 times, bro. So you're getting more energy in AoE and more damage too. Bro, are you kidding me? I love that, by the way. Let me check if there's something cool added here. Trash damage, swipe mode damage. Omen of Clarity no longer affects trash, only shred and swipe. That's fine. Rampart Ferocity now damages all nearby targets, not only the ones affected by rip. Again, they're making this spec much easier. You don't have to have rip on targets to be damaged by Rampart Ferocity. Very easy shit, boys. Apex Predator triggers less often with a single rip active and triggers more often when you have multiple rips. Love it, chat. I love this. I love this, by the way. I love this. Chrono Warden Evoker. Let me check if there's any cool stuff introduced to them. Not really. Only passive damage. Split Stream now grants a charge of Hoover instead of granting full charges. Whatever. Let me check. Not many things for Flame Shaper, by the way. Only a few talent choices. Following talents have been removed. And Goof has been removed from Flame Shaper. Huh? Wait, what? Why are they removing Engulf from Flame Shaper? Fire Breath cooldown reduced by 5 seconds. Fire Breath damage over time lasts 4 seconds longer. Consuming... Aha! New talent Twin Flame. Consuming Essence Burst fires a Twin Flame healing or damaging a target for 400% spell power. So pretty much that's like a built-in Engulf or what? But they're removing the Engulf. Interesting. Devastation. Not many changes for Devastation Evoker 2, by the way. Devastation. Fire Breath gains additional charge. That's new talent. Okay. Undriver has been redesigned as passive effect. Fire Breath consumes absorb shields from enemies, dealing additional spell frost damage. Interesting. Oh, Augmentation Evoker. Let's see. The goal of these changes is to simplify even my targeting in raid environment. Since it now applies to all members of the raid, there is no need to micromanage who it should be going on. There will be still some buff management gameplay with Prescience, which will continue to have a smart targeting option for those who do not want to swap target between enemies and allies frequently. Should easier the gameplay with the Augmentation Evoker. Yeah, I can link the class change once again. Class reworks. Oh, actually, you know what I forgot to do? Yo, I forgot to mention there are drops, chat. I'm gonna attach the drops later on to this channel. Wait. Yo, I forgot to even mention you guys. You will be having drops to the channel, dude. Let me try to fix it for you. One second, boys. Here you go. Now we see it, right? Yeah, here you go. Now we see it. Let's check it out what it did, boys. Anytime you extend Even Might, you duplicate, it's also extended. Even Might is 100% more effective, and Upheaval and Eruption deals more damage. New talents, Even Might. Now, oh my god, bro. No. Are they making an augmentation comeback? Look at this. Even Might now grants 8% primary stat. Was only 5 before. They're buffing Even Might by quite a lot here. This is like 60% buff to Even Might in a sense. 8% primary stat from 5. Blistering Scale no longer loses charges and deals more damage. Modes of possibility may now grant prescience to allies and have a 10% increased chance to drop. Even Might applies to all damage, applies to every single... Even Might is now applied to all damage dealing allies within 100 yards. Even Might now splits its effect when applied to more than 2 other allies and is no longer limited to 2 maximum applications. Wait, you can have multiple applications of Even Might, by the way. Oh no, boys. Oh no. Breath of Ice has been buffed again from 10% to 15% damage. Molten Blood more absorb damage. Inferno Blessing only targets you and one nearby ally. But it does a lot more damage. Oh my god. Chat. This sounds fucking juicy to Augmentation Evoker. Interesting, guys. Let's see about Devastation. Devastation is one of the simple caster specialization, and we feel most rotational spells and talents already aligned with our approachability goals. At midnight, we are removing Shatterstar and Firestorm. What? They're removing Engulf, Shatterstar, and Firestorm, and adding some fresh talents in their stead to continue to evolve the gameplay, including a talent that allows Deep Breath to be used a second time. We're also updating Flame Shaper talents by removing Engulf and having the Keystone grant an additional charge to Fire Breath. Apex talents no longer available. Shattering Star, Azure Sweep, Eternity Surge upgrades your next Azure Strike or Azure Sweep damage all nearby enemies dealing 75% additional damage. So they're pretty much trying to make you do more damage with Deep Breath. Shattering Star redesigned as a passive called Shattering Stars. Eternity Surge releases Shattering Star at your target that deals 50% more damage per empowered level. Pyre does more damage. So you're gonna be relying on Pyre, like you're gonna be just pretty much spamming Pyre. Deep Breath, Pyre. Dude, that makes Devastation even easier. Hold on, guys. I wanna get some water. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. It's time for Hunters. Hunters means in the chat, rise up. Dark Ranger. Black Arrow provides an unusual high amount of damage relative to the rest of Marksmanship and Beastmaster kits. In Midnight, we're making some adjustments to ensure Dark Ranger effects don't completely overshadow the core adjustments of MM and BM. Okay? New talent, Corpse Collar. Black Arrow periodic damage has a small chance to rouse the dead, summoning Dark Minion to fight alongside you. And summoning Dark Beast have 10% chance to instead summon Dark Hound. New talent, Wailing Death. Bloodshed Thundershot summons Dark Hound, Dark Minion, and replaces Bloodshed Thundershot with Wailing Arrow. What the fuck is this bullshit? That's some bullshit. Okay? So far, bullshit. You fire 2 additional black arrows during Withering Barrage. Trick shot aspect of Hydra damage bonus increased by 10%. Q cleave and beast cleave damage increased by 10%. Ooh! Aim shot causes direct minion to fire blighted arrows. Black arrow updated and redesigned. Making black arrow periodic effect a rolling periodic didn't move the dial in terms of power. So we are opting to simplify and increase its damage substantially. Our goal is to have black arrow periodic damage be a more potent area of effect tuning knob. Now that it can easily be mass applied by Umbra or Reach. Since it's no longer a rolling periodic, it won't impact the power of periodic effect in single target dramatically, okay? Interesting. Soul Drinker updated now causes Kill Command and Barb Shot to have a chance to grant Dead Blow. Now causing Aim Shot and Rapid Fire to have a chance to get Dead Blow. That means haste is gonna be very big value here. Black Arrow has updated, no longer has a chance to grant Dead Blow. Now increase ult should damage by 100%, whatever. We don't care. That means less Black Arrows though. Banshee Mark updated, increases the critical strike damage of Oblique Powder and Black Arrow by 10%. Choice Note with Beltos. I think I'm gonna be playing Beltos all the time. Beltos updated, now increases the pet damage and database damage for Beast Mastery. Increase. Oh my god! They're actually gutting Dark Ranger. They're removing Beltos. Look at this bullshit. Beltos updated, now increases pet damage and database damage of Beast Mastery. That's dog shit. Your damage comes from Black Arrow and Bleak Powder majority of the time. This is really bad, by the way. Phantom Pain removed as well. Ooh! Alright, boys. Pack your bags. Pack your bags, boys. Pack your bags. It's time to get to Santino again. It's over, boys. Okay? Withering Fire has been updated. Now activates from Bloodshed for Beast Mastery. Black Arrow Keystone Tunnel now grants Black Arrow for Beast Mastery as well. Okay? Pack Leader. Auto shot grants to focus to you and your pet. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like you focus is never start. Your cap you can focus all the time because you get so many barb shots with pack leader. New talent, Sharpen Fangs, Mastery increased by 3%. Baseline, more mastery, more damage. Pretty big W here. Hawk Strider increased damage of coverage by 10%, and now stacks 3 times. Nobody cares. Damage bonus from Wolverine is increased by 5% and now lasts 4 seconds. Damage of your Bear Rend Flesh is increased by 15%. Ooh, that's good. Stampede Talon. Casting Bestial Wrath or Takedown grants half of the pack leader and causes your next skill command to rouse the nearby wildfire into the Stampede. Wow. Isn't that your tier set from this season? They're adding that as a talent next expansion. That is huge, by the way, for pack leader. Or in general, for BM Hunter. That is huge, by the way. That is built in for peace. I love that. Pack mentality has been updated. Wildfire Bomb and Barb Shot cooldown reduced by 6 seconds. And now grants 100% additional kill command damage to survival hunters only. Okay. No longer affects Mungo's Bite or up to strike, increases Hatchet Toss damage 100%. Ursun Fury updated when your bear is summoned, it is joined by 2 Darbies. No Mercy updated. More bleed damage. Half the pack updated. Boar charges once per summon with 3 times boar charge primary and secondary targets increased by 300%. Wow. Okay. So less visual effects on BM Hunter. I like that. More FPS, I guess. Bear base damage and stat scale increases by 40%. RIP. Shell cover updated. Survival of the fittest now summons a turtle to aid you, further increasing the damage reduction effect by 10%. So more durability to pack leader. You'll be getting a new defensive option called shell cover. I mean, I guess it's not new, but like improved defensive option. So pretty good stuff happening here for pack leader, by the way. I am more excited to play pack leader instead of Dark Ranger. Sounds like a big L change. Sentinel. Something has been rebuilt and is designed for midnight. Our goals with this update is we're targeting the keystone and capstones, since that was where a majority of the 3 complexity stemmed. This updated version of Sentinel should provide more active and directed gameplay, require substantially less tracking, be more deeply ingrained into the playstyle of MM and survival, all while being less visually and audibly noisy. New talent Moonlight Chakram. After casting True Shot, it is replaced with Moonlight Chakram 15 seconds. Throw a Chakram blessed with a moonlight at the current target. Rapidly deals damage and bouncing 7 times. Wait a second. That sounds familiar. Anybody remember the Dead Chakram from Shadowlands? Whenever you played Necrolord? That sounds exactly the same, by the way. This sounds exactly the same. Exactly the same. Except now it's gonna be after you're done with the True Shot, you can cast it. Okay? New talent, Stoke and Strike. Throwing your Moonlight Chakram grants you lock and load, charge a Wildfire Bomb, and has a 100% chance to apply Sentinel Mark. Woo! That's a guaranteed that the lock and load. That is very good. I like that. Moonlight Chakram deals more damage each time it bounces. So they're pretty much trying to build the talent around the Chakram. Consuming precise shots up to 100% increase someone. Oh, okay. So a lot of good stuff here, chat. I'm gonna skip through some of them. Ego is replaced with a Sentinel Owl that applies an enhanced Sentinel Mark. Lunar Storm is designed when Sentinel Mark consumed, it summons a barrage of 4 lunar missiles, each dealing heavy arcane damage to enemies within 10 yards. Okay. I like that. Overall it's pretty big W. Sideline removed. Sentinel Watch removed. Sentinel Precision removed. Q Shot removed from the MM talent tree. Eyes Closed. Catch Out. Symbiotic Arsenal removed as well. Okay. Hunter's Mark updated. Now increases the target damage taken by 3%, was 5% above. Oh! Big W! Hunter's Mark being buffed. It now increases the target damage taken by 3% for the entire fight, instead of 5% for only above 80%. This is huge, by the way. This is gonna make Hunter mandatory in raid. At least one, by the way. 3% more damage throughout the entire fight. This is insane. I love that. Hunter's value going up, baby. Let's fucking go. Beast Mastery developing nodes. BM Hunters have a fantasy of consistent and reliable and powerful pet source attacks. That's something we're looking to lean when we move pet source attacks, and that's something we're leaning to make midnight. We are reducing the number of conditional hours and modifiers to Barbershop to make it more easy to spend as it's available. We have grown font of Bestial Rat shorter cooldown, as such are removing Barbershop Rat dynamic cooldown reduction effects to instead give Bestial Rat a flat cooldown of 30 seconds when it's fully talented. Multi-shot has had an odd place in Beast Mastery Kit, so we are giving it an update, causing it to be replaced by Beast Mastery Spectre with a new pet source attack that deals substantial damage in a way, while also doing effects like Beast Cleave and Q Cleave. So they're gonna make multi-shot beefy ability or what? We hope this new spell will feel powerful and contribute meaningfully to our area damage. Bloodshed and Call of the Wild felt like they were both competing for a similar role of a cooldown that summoned a few more units to fight for you. As such, we are removing Call of the Wild and we are focusing on Bloodshed as a cooldown to get a few extra beasts to attack your enemies. With a change to make Killshot MM only ability, Dark Ranger will now lean Black Arrow as a separate ability if they choose that Hill Town tree. Wow. I love that. Apex talents not available yet for BM Hunter. New talent Beast Within, reducing the cooldown of Bestial Rat by 30 to 60 seconds. So No more CDR from barb shots, but instead, you're gonna be having a flat 30-second cooldown on Big Shot. Flat. Which removes all the CDR skill. While Trash commands your pets to attack all enemies near them, 8 seconds cooldown. Jagged wounds, all bleed damage increased. This is pretty much all passive damage to your pets. Let me check is anything cool. Dire Frenzy redesign. Increases dire beast damage. Again, passive damage increase. What orders updated now has a 100% chance to reset the cooldown of Q command. Beast Cleave duration increased to 8 seconds. Beast Cleave now activates when you use Wild Trash rather than multi-shot. Love that. So no more multi-shot for the Beast Cleave. Saint of Blood is no longer 2-pointer. Barbed Wrath removed. Hunter Spray removed. Multi-shot removed. Wild Code removed. Poison Barbs removed. Serpent Item removed. You're gonna be triggering Beast Cleave with a new talent. Oh my god, boys. BM Hunter getting a rework of their life. What's happening here, boys? Love that. Okay, I am super excited for BM Hunters, by the way. I'm super excited. Check Thundering Hooves. Wait. Thundering Hooves, stomp damage increased by 30%. Beast Wrath commands all active pet to stomp at 200% effectiveness. Wow. That is fat as fuck, baby. Love that too. Hunter. We're generally pleased with the state of Hunter after the Undermine Ghost of Kareshi updates, but there were a few bigger things we would like to address. Most notably, the introduction of Streamline as a core mechanic for inflated the amount of cast time reduction Hunters have access to while also contributing an extra outlet to track. Aim Shot is meant to be a long cast that is worth to wait. As its cast time reduces, so it must its damage, and we feel that flies in the face of what Aim Shot should be about. As such, we are removing Streamline and increasing Aim Shot's damage instead. While Explosion Shot found a home as a guaranteed way to gain lock and load in Ghost of Kareshi, we feel that it's healthier for the spec as a whole to distance itself from Explosive Shot and instead focus on more fantasy forward spells like volley and kill shot spells. Are they removing Explosive Shot? Speaking of Q command, we are removing it from the Hunter class tree and letting fully own the execute niche it provides. True is getting some cooldown reduction, cast time reduction, and focus cost reduction. Okay. New talent, Death Blow. Aim Shot has 20% chance to reset a cooldown of Kill Shot. Lethality new talent. Critical strike damage dealt by your abilities and auto attacks increased by 10%. Shrapnel Shot now grants lock and load when you volley. Volley CDR reduced by 15 seconds. Penetrating Shot crit damage bonus reduced to 25 of critical strike chance was 40. They're slightly nerfing that. Aim Shot damage increased by 50%. Bullet Hell is now choice not Shrapnel Shot. The following talents removed: Double Tap, Improved Death Blow, Improved Streamline, Razor Fragments, Streamline, Tactical Reload, Moving Target. Okay. Bitch, take your buddy. So overall, they're trying to shift the power away from explosive shots towards more aim shots. So they want to make your aim shot beefy. Like every time you hit an aim shot, they want them for you to send them back to high school. You know, like imagine you're playing classic WoW. Somebody casts an aim shot, it does critical strike damage on you and you get one shot. That's pretty much what they want to do. They want to make Hunter aim shot to be mega slow, but do insane damage. Which, I don't know. It's not that bad. It's gonna be like probably 3.5 second cast. Or 3 seconds, I guess. As we head to midnight, Survival Hunter. Continuing with the refine and focus Survival Hunter fantasy, giving clear playstyle, gameplay, and visual direction. Over the course of Alpha, we'll be reintroducing one-handers into Survival Hunter pool of available weapons. Survival Hunter one-handers? Which means we'll also be looking to distance Survivor from the spear-only identity that they had in this Legion. We're doubling down Survival relationship with a pet with a new talent and create an interdependency between Hunter's damage and their pet damage. Additionally, we're leaning into the rugged, crafty, and bomb-centric fantasy. New fire grenade called Flame Fang Pitch, a new visual and fantasy identity for Fury of the Ego called Boomstick, and a host of a new wildfire bomb talent. Survival Hunter had a substantial number of abilities that were competing for your attention at any given time. CA and a flanking strike have been combined into a new burst cooldown called Takedown that strives to take the best parts of both spells and blend them into a one moment. We also made the tough decision to redesign Mungo's Bite. We feel confident that simplifying Mungo's Bite will allow us to carve out more interesting designs for survival. Last but not least, Midnight. Survival Hunter area damage to come from their explosives, Wildfire Bomb, Boomstick, Flame Fang Pitch. As such, we are removing Butchery and its associated effects. We also expect Raptor Strike to provide meaningful and exciting moments of AoE. Interesting. A Raptor Strike has a 25% chance to trigger Raptor Swipe, dealing moderate physical damage up to 5 nearby enemies. During Takedown, your chance to trigger Raptor Strike is increased by 100%, and the Raptor Swipe damage increased by 10-20. A Raptor Strike causes your pet to lash out, dealing heavy single target damage to your main target and granting 3% haste for 10 seconds. Boys, this means Survival Hunter is gonna be casting a Raptor Strike in AoE, which means prio damage, you know, it's gonna be blasting, okay? Survival Hunters are now able to dual weight one-handed access swords and daggers. Alright, boys. We're gonna be wearing daggers. Dagger Survival Hunter. I'm gonna become a Shankar. Okay? New abilities: Hatchet, Toss, Throw an axe to your target, dealing moderate damage. Whatever your damage abilities provoke your pet to attack, dealing light physical damage. Takedown. Takedown is pretty much coordinated assault. You and your pet leap to your target and strike as once, dealing heavy physical damage to your target for the next 8 seconds, and damage dealt by you and your pet is increased by 20%. New talent: Savagery. Takedown, cooldown reduced by 30 seconds. More bleed damage. Mungo's Raptor Strike increases to damage for Raptor Strike 10%. Multiple applications overlap. Shrapnel Bomb. Wildfire Bomb periodic effect is now Bleed. Choice not Flame Break. Flame Break. All fire damage dealt is increased 15%. Okay. New talent: Flame Fang Pitch. This is the new bomb. Toss a Fury Consortius that explodes violently upon reaching a destination, dealing heavy fire damage to enemies in this area. After landing, your Flame Fang Pitch ignites nearby terrain, dealing moderate damage to enemies in its area over 8 seconds. That's a new bomb, by the way. Wow. I love it, boys. I absolutely love it. Mungo's rounds: each time you fire your boomstick, gain 1 stack of Mungo's Fury. Throw a Wildfire Bomb, increase critical strike 50% for 12 seconds. Wildfire Bomb deals its periodic damage over 6 seconds instead. When Wildfire Bomb explodes, it leaves behind a sticky bomb on a primary target, exploding for moderate fire damage after a short delay. Damage reduced beyond 8 targets. More mastery. You gain mastery. You gain 5% increased mastery from all mastery sources. That pretty much means you want to be stacking mastery until the end of the world. This looks a heavy Survival Hunter rework, chat. Heavy rework. Deep with the Spear updated. Now increase Raptor Strike damage 15% and it reduces focus 5%. Raptor Strike costs 40 focus. Wildfire Bomb no longer has a focus cost. kill command no longer has a cooldown. Wow. This looks so insane. Born to kill removed, Bombardier removed, Alpha Predator removed, Butchery removed, Dead Glue removed, Flanking Strike removed, Core of the Head removed, Fury of the Ego removed, Merciless Blow removed, Mongoose Bite removed, Spearhead removed. Wow, look at they removing half of the tree, bro. Yo, Survival is fucking juicy. I love that, chat. I love that. Okay. Congratulations. That's an insanely big cook from Blizzard, by the way. Insanely big cook. Anyway, Mage. Any Mage mails in the chat? Mage, Frostfire. Frostfire Rotan added many auras, most of which you were incentivized to track and play around. It was also filled with the damage procs, many damage events, and provided an influx of Brain Freeze, Phoenix Flames. Midnight, we're reworking the Frostfire tree completely to its gameplay more directly enhance and elevate gameplay that exists, okay? So, pretty much more passive damage instead of tracking damage. That's fine, boys. Anything new? Frostfire damage, yada yada, whatever. I want to see something new, guys. Come on. This is pretty much Frostfire work. It's fine. Nobody cares. They're changing the way it plays out pretty much. Unifying Unering proficiency removed. Embedded sprinters are no longer tracked by nameplates. Sudden Fury Minor rework as well. Okay. Let's see what they say about mages. We're taking a path to reduce button and aura bloat for the mage. We're also consolidating defensive power to simplify the landscape of mage defensives and make them more approachable. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! They're removing defensive of mage or what? Barrier spells should be potent, consistent, and reliable. Mirror images and invisibility spells should now be able to be used for their utility instead of tacked on defensive benefits. We're also removing shifting power. Adios! Shifting power was uniquely powerful to Fire Mage and substantially less interesting for Arcane and Frost, but it came with its own set of tuning challenges that made it difficult to balance. Fire Mage will be getting some spec talent adjustments to make Fire Blast more accessible to compensate for the loss of shifting power. We're also reducing Shimmer power to help make the decision between Blink and Shimmer feels like more of a meaningful choice. Players who want to maximize uptime and display mastery over an encounter's mechanics should feel empowered to express through Shimmer, where progression and more reactive mages should enjoy increased availability of Blink. New talent, Mirror Images cooldown reduced by 1 minute. Alter time resets the cooldown of Blink and Shimmer when you return to original location. Blink gets extra charge, dropping under 25% health, you pass self-correct your timeline, casting Alter time and instantly returning to 50% health. That sounds like a cheat death in a sense. Ice Barrier Absorb increased by 5% of your maximum health and is now reduces your physical damage taken by 10%. Only Frost Mage. Blazing Barrier increased by 200% and it now cauterizes your wounds, healing you for 15% of the damage absorbs. Fire Mage only. It reduces cooldown greater invisibility. Counter spell cooldown is reduced by 5%. Mirror Images no longer reduces the damage you take. Ooh! Mirror Images no longer reduces the damage you take. Tooltip now correctly communicates the threat reduction effect. So you're gonna be only getting threat reduction. So no longer you're gonna get DR from mirror images. Mirror Images duration reduced to 15 seconds. Blink cooldown increased by 15 seconds. Greater visibility no longer reduces damage you take by 60%. So no longer you get DR from greater visibility. No longer DR from mirror images. Okay. Shimmer cooldown increased to 30 seconds. and no longer has 2 charges baseline. Okay. Following talents removed. Blast Wave removed. Frigid Winds. Mass Barrier removed. Bros. They're removing Mass Barrier. They're removing durability from greater invisibility. And they're removing durability from images. And what are you gonna have left, dude? Alright, boys. My day just became better. God damn. God damn, boys. Woo! Okay. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding, okay? I don't want any mage main to be taken offense. We're just having good time. We're laughing and jokes, okay? Let's check about Arcane Mage. Arcane Mage. Our goal for Arcane Mage is to simplify the decision making around when to Arcane Barrage by reducing the number of effects and folding the remaining ones into a new resource called Arcane Salvo. Arcane Mages can talent into different ways to generate Arcane Salvo and should expect their hero talents to provide some unique behaviors that might augment their cadence of Barrage drastically. We're also removing all effects that refund arcane charges when you barrage, while adding some new and unique ways to regain charges through the tree to help reinforce arcane charge climb as a core part. Arcane Mage experience. Lastly, we're introducing a new area damage spell called Arcane Pulse that will replace Arcane Explosion when learned. This spell featured a 40-yard range, ramping damage and mana cost and an area effect per arcane charge, and should feel like an intuitive and powerful option in mass AoE. So they're making Arcane Mage do a lot more mass AoE damage. Apex Talent Arcane Mage, Touch of Magie, accumulates an additional 5% damage and has 1 additional charge. Arcane Charge further increased damage of Arcane Blast, Arcane Pulse, and Arcane Barrage. When Magie explodes, leaves behind a pulsar rune and a target's location, dealing 25% of its damage over 6 seconds to nearby enemies. I like that. This is a very good change for Arcane, by the way. Double charge of Touch of Magie sounds insane. Casting a damage spells increase a damage of Arcane Barrage for 3% up to 60%. Okay. Casting Orb with clearance fires 2 additional orbs. A lot of good talents, chat. New talents added to Arcane. 1 additional stack of Arcane Salvo. Causing Arcane Barrage to have 3% chance per Arcane Salvo to stack Launching Orb. Grants 3% haste passively. No longer stacking though from Arcane Tempo. Arcane Barrage more damage. Clear casting chance to trigger increased. Arcane Missile Tooltip updated. A lot of good stuff added and removed. Look how many things removed. Nether Precision removed from Arcane. Late Drinker removed from Arcane. Arcane Debilation removed. Harmony removed. Time Loop removed. Okay. Interesting. Fire Mage. Introducing Phoenix Flames and an additional of hero talents. Fire Mage have a easier time generating hot streak. With this impact, the tuning of Pyroblast and Flame Strike and the pace of fire combat is in extreme ways. In Midnight, we are heavily increasing damage to Fire Mage premier damage spells like Pyroblast, Flame Strike, Meteor, while reducing the access to guaranteed crits by removing Phoenix Flames. We're also changing Kindling to be flat CDR reduction. Oh my god, bro. They're making you get flat CDR instead of having skill based CDR, which pretty much means even if you are pleb mage, you're still gonna get the same CDR as somebody that is expert mage. Increasing the cost of fire talent 3 Synaxis Ignite spreading functionality to help make Ignite spread playstyle more distinct from fire other builds. Interesting, chat. New talent fired up. Wait a second. Isn't that talent devoted to fire up the limit guy? Combustion is active, consuming hot streak has a 15% chance to grant you fired up, increasing your fire damage by 5% until combustion ends. Getting fired up increases the cooldown of fire blast by 2.5 seconds, 5 seconds. Host streak has a 15% chance of granting fired up. Additional fired up now extends combustion duration 1 second. Interesting. What is the TODR of Fire Mage here, dude? Mastery Ignite has been updated. Effectiveness reduced by 25% and no longer causes Fire Blast to spread Ignite baseline. Bit of an ass here, chat. I don't like that particularly though, about the Ignite. Motive Fury updated, now grants 15% increased damage to enemies below 30%, 7. That means the execute of fire damage will be diabolical here. I love that. Scorch is now a passive. When Fireball damages enemy below 30%, it always critical strikes. So less button blow. Interesting, Mori. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. Kindling is now giving you a flat 30% CDR on combustion. Aha, so they're reducing mastery. They're reducing mastery value, but they're also giving you more talents to increase mastery damage. Which means Fire Mage will be 3 button spec watt. Let me check. Flame Strike damage increased by 70%. Flame Strike now has a unit target variance accessible to choice node on Flame Strike. Pyro Blast more damage. Cauterize is now a 6-minute cooldown, which was 5 before. Interesting, guys. A lot of things being removed for Fire Mage. Pyrotechnics, Pyromaniac, Phoenix Reborn, Phoenix Flames, Mark of the Fireblood, Call of the Sun King got removed as well. That's pretty bad. Spark Cinders removed, Sun King's Blessing also removed, Unleash Inferno removed. Wow, bro. They removing SKB? No. Why? Why removing SKB? Frost Mage. Receiving a gameplay overhaul in midnight, targeting and simplify. Ain't no way they said that. So Frost Mage getting a rework to simplify the rotation. Perf. Frost Mage rotation is 2 buttons already. What are you gonna simplify? Removing competing spells, priorities, and giving each spell a much clearer place in Frost rotation. Frost Mage features a building and spending debuff gameplay centered around 2 remaining mechanics, freezing and shattering. Frostbolt and Flurry apply stack of freezing and Ice Lance consumes them to deal significant bonus damage. Alongside this core mechanics change, we are doing an overhaul of Frost Talent 3 targeted at reducing button blow to reinforcing rotation, clarity, and priorities, while also removing significant number of auras. One such change is now removal of Icy Veins as Frost Mage burst cooldown and now being replaced by Ray of Frost. Ray of Frost! We feel Frost Mage has historically been deemed as a more approachable of the 3 mage specs, and we like that Frost identity. Our goal of the rework is to for that perception to continue by offering a new mastery for those players who heavily invest playing Frost. New talent. Shattering enemy has a new Apex talent, Hand of Frost. Shattering an enemy has a 10% chance to summon a Hand of Frost to pursue your target. Upon reaching a target, explodes, dealing moderate frost damage to its target and applying 2 stacks of freezing. Each stack of freezing is Shatter increases chance to summon a Hand of Frost by 1-2%. Nah, this is actually bullshit. Ray of Frost gain 1 additional charge. Additional Ray of Frost summons 5 Hand of... Okay. This sounds like a bullshit. This Apex talent of Frost Mage is a massive L, by the way. What is this bullshit? The whole fantasy doesn't add up. You summon a Hand of Frost to follow the target. Bro, what? Ice Block Frost Barrier now has additional charge. Huh? Cone of Frost, Cone of Cold Ice now has applies to 3 stacks of freezing up to 5 enemies. Shelter critical strike damage increased by 100%. Splitting Ice updated. Fewer Flurry and Frostbolt spells that strike additional 1 enemy, 1 target at 100% effectiveness. Ray of Frost updated. Damage increased by 11% and damage tick rate increased. Each time Ray of Frost deals damage, it applies a stack of freezing. I hate Ray of Frost. Shatter is now a passive too. Freezing Rain updated. Increases Blizzard damage by 20% instead of 60. Comet Storm updated. Temporarily replaces Blizzard with Comet Storm upon casting Ray of Frost, calling down a series of 7 icy comets that deals frost damage. Fuck me, man. Ice Lance does more damage. Frostbolt does more damage. Flurry does more damage. Haste reduces cooldown following abilities Flurry, Frost Orb, Ray of Frost. Cold Snap is now a Frost School spell. Following talents removed: Icy Veins, Lonely Winter, Bone Chilling, Sub-Zero, Splintering Cold. Glacial Spike removed. Death Chill removed. Wow. They're doing 360 on this spec, boys. Interesting. I think that's gonna be interesting. I'll be trying Frost Mage later. Then okay. Monk. Let me check if there's some cool stuff added to Monk. Windwalker against all odds has been redesigned. Now grants 5% more agility. Okay. Flurry strikes triggers after casting Fist of Fury and Kick Smash. Okay. Soothing Mist, more healing. Following talents has been removed: Chi Burst, removed from Mystere and Windwalker. So Chi Burst available only to Brewmaster. Clash removed. Rising Sun Kick removed for Brewmasters only. Replacing a Rising Sun Kick with Stagger for Brewmasters only. Diffuse Magic has been redesigned. Now causes activating Fortifying Brew. Transfer all current active harmful magical effects on you back to the original caster if possible. Ooh! That is good! Let's see about Windwalker. What is done to Windwalker? Primary focus on removing conditional modifiers and making sure the base damage of spells feels impactful. Critical Strike will be the main way the damage changes values, and otherwise each spell will remain largely consistent between in and out of cooldowns. Our goal is that it will reduce the gravitational overhead and allow more focus on procs resource management and mastering combo strikes to drive gameplay. This sounds like we always been the case, dude. Apex Talents. Gain Tiger's Eye Brew every 8 seconds, causing critical strike chance to be increased by 2% during your next weapon of order, stacking up to 20 times. Generates quickly up to 10 stacks while out of combat. Critical strike damage increased by 15%. Does that mean you want to be going critical strikes on Windwalker now? Have a chance you go to your critical strike to increase damage of your current Fist of Fury by 15% each time you deal damage. Okay, chat. We're gonna be going critical strike Windwalker, it seems like. Slicing Winds generates 2 chi when casted. Sharp reflexes, blackout kick reduces cooldown for instant kick. Duration of Fist of Fury increased by 1 second. Fist of Fury chi cost is reduced by 1, but his damage is reduced by 10%. New talent, Cyclone Drift. You gain 10% more haste from all sources. So haste and crit is gonna be absolutely crazy for Monk. Anything juicy, guys? Spinning Crane kick more damage. Fist of Fury more damage. Touch to the Tiger, increase damage with Tiger Palm by 15% instead of 40. Crane Vortex now increase damage with Spinning Crane kick by 15%. Dance of Gigi no longer increase damage of Spinning Crane kick. L. Following talents removed: Jade Firestomp, Gale Force, Fury. Wait, Fury is been removed. What the fuck? Last Emperor, Martial Mixture, Ordinary Elements, Storm, Earth, and Fire removed as well. Wow. Did not expect that, chat. Paladin! Let's see what they do to Paladin, chat. Judgment Light removed, Dust Down removed, Seal of Order Crusader removed. Okay. All Holy Power spelling abilities, healing, and damage has been increased by 20%. So more like spender damage and healing. Okay. Holy Prism has moved to the class 3 from the Holy 3 and is now a choice node with Divine Toe. So you can choose either Divine Toe or Holy Prism. I don't like that. As we hit into midnight as Retribution Paladins, we're taking a close look at a couple of things such as how Retribution Paladin generates Holy Power, the amount of spells needed to cast for setup, the hero talent balance, and the design of the third gate in the spec tree. Currently, we feel the choices in the third gate are too limiting, forcing players to pick between single target and AoE effectiveness with little flexibility. To address this, we are redesigning some abilities while removing some others. The most impactful change here happening with Execution, Sentence, and Final Reckoning. In Midnight, we decided to combine those two abilities into one powerful ability that is useful both in AoE and ST. That is actually a huge W. That is a huge W for Red Paladin so far. For Holy Power generation, we're looking into some amount of passive overtime effects. A key focus here is Crusader Strikes. While it has served Retribution very well in some areas, overtime has become an invisible passive Holy Power generator that's difficult to track. We're shifting emphasis towards Templar Strikes. Going back to the amount of spells cast, the one change we would like to address is Divine Hammer. We know many enjoyed its interaction with Templar hero talents, but on the other hand, many found it stressful to manage on top of other abilities such as Execution Sentence. In Midnight, we are approaching in mind, we decided to find a different place for Divine Hammer inside the Templar hero talent 3 as a key AoE component. This change will allow us to be more flexible with the tuning of Empyrean Hammers and Hammer of Light. We're also exploring ways to make Art of War and Righteous Cause feel more impactful. TLDR, they're trying to make Retribution Paladin easier and add more damage toolkit towards the already built-in toolkit. That's what it means. Apex Talents, Art of War or Righteous Cause increase the damage of next Blade of Justice by 150%. Avenging Wrath grants an Art of War or Righteous Cause, okay? Avenger Wrath further increases damage of Final Verdict and Divine Storm by 10 or 20%. Art of War further empowers Blade of Justice to unleash a wave of holy energy, dealing holy damage to its primary target and holy damage to all other enemies. So they're pretty much adding prior target damage to Retribution Paladin as a passive. Execution Sentence redesign. Unleash a heavy blast around target, dealing holy damage to all enemies nearby, and call down a hammer that slows Folly from the sky upon target. After 10 seconds, target suffers 10% of the holy damage you deal to all targets affected by the initial blast during that time. Wow! Yo! This is insane for Red Paladins, by the way. This is absolutely crazy. So not only you're gonna have more prior damage as a passive, but all of the AoE damage you're gonna do is gonna transfer to a prior target. So pretty much you're gonna be Arcane Mage. Yeah, exactly. Or Havoc GH. So you can go in, press this ability, slime your dick, do AoE rotation, press your Divine Storms, and all of the AoE you're gonna do is gonna transfer to the main target you casted your Executioner Sentence on. And it's gonna be 1 minute cooldown. Which pretty much means even if you're a chimp player and you do like everything wrong, you're still gonna be fine doing prior damage. Fuck me, man. That sounds pretty easy. Divine Toe causing extra judgment to cast again. Templar Strikes updated. Crusader Strike loses a charge but now strikes twice. Templar Strike slash enemy for radiant damage and gets followed by Templar Slash. Okay. Radiant Glory no longer has a chance to activate Avenging Wrath 4 seconds on Holy Power spend and now functions with Divine Wrath. Yikes! Empyrean Hammer, Empyrean Legacy now causes Avenging Wrath to empower your next single target Holy Power ability to cast Divine Storm with 25% increased effectiveness. Wowee! Wowee! Final Verdict secondary effect has been updated, now has a 15% chance to reset the cooldown judgment. Divine Arbiter removed. Crusader Strikes removed. Divine Hammer moved to Templar only hero talent. Executioner Will removed. Final Reckoning removed. Justicar Vengeance removed. Searing Light. Vanguard's Momentum removed. Wow, okay. I haven't read Shaman, no. Priest! We have 3 more specs left. Priest. Anything interesting here? Oracle, more charges, holy, additional charge per mending, whatever. These 5 talents removed. Class changes done to priest. Let me check what they've done. Increase damage with spells by 3%. More stamina. Wow, what the fuck? You're gonna have a talent as a priest to get more stamina, more intellect, and more haste. The fuck? Root enemies with 4 seconds and when Psychic Scream ends. I love that. Psychic Scream moved to the class 3 at level 7. Love that. Binding Heals and the Angel's Mercy are now separate nodes. Okay. Divine Style removed. Cold Terror Shadows removed. Manipulation removed. Power of Word Life removed. Renew removed. Sunlane, Rhapsody, Thrones of Pain, Void Shield, Word of Pious removed as well. Vampiric Embrace is now only Shadow. Okay, so they're removing Nature's Vigil, they removed Ancestral Guidance, and now they're removing a Vampiric Embrace on Discipline and Holy. Now, for Holy, you didn't press it. For this, you only press it if you are playing, not Oracle, I think the Void guy, the Void talent. So now it's gonna be only Shadow shit. Interesting, guys. Shadow Priest. Let's see. Apex Talents. Following changes are focused on simplifying some of the cooldowns, launch sequence as well as the frequency of number of high priority procs. We're also updating the fantasy and visuals of their core spells. Why? Why? It's already very good fantasy-wise. When an effect from the idol is activated, conjure Shadow Operations. Love that. Shadow Operations have a 30% chance to spawn a Void operation that releases Void Bolt at the target. Tentacle Slam has a 100% chance to activate an effect from your idols. Love that. Passive damage. Love that. New talent. Improve Void Form. Causing Void Form to generate 60 insanity increases your spell's damage by 5%. Love that. Void Eruption named Void Form to reduce confusion between the ability name and effect. Tooltip updated. Devouring Plague renamed to Shadow Word Madness. What the fuck is this bullshit? Oh. What? Hold on. Shadow Crash renamed to Tentacle Slam. Summons a massive shadowy appendage to slam the ground, dealing damage and applying Vampiric Touch up to 6 targets to all enemies between you and the target, as well as 8 yards around your target. Wait. Shadow Crash is now called Tentacle Slam. Okay. Surge of Insanity has been redesigned. Increases mindflay damage by 60%. Dispersion is now learned level 13. Silence is now 30 seconds cooldown. And it is not a talent anymore. Oh my god, I love that. Yup.
Bullspin ASIN message low.
Yup. Shadow Fiend is now located in the Shadow Talent tree. Shadow Operations now damage increase 100%. Insidious Ire now affects Mind Flay. Void Volley is now a replacement spell during Void form of Void Bolt. And is no longer a talent probably? Question mark? Dark Ascension removed. Psychic Horror removed. Void Torrent removed. Why? ¿Qué? Huh? Huh? Gato. Porco Dio. Oh! Chat! Rogue! Rogue rework, boys. Shut up. Rogue rework. Hold up. Wait. Hold up. What is this change? Hold up. What is this? Checking?
Ballers, and let's take a look at the new UI for Midnight. Welcome to Silver Moon City. Essential cooldown. So very easy, you just swap it between, right? No writing a week or... For some of you, that will be fine. I like it in a bar. It's those kinds of choices where you're like, yeah, I prefer it a different way. That's all, right? I prefer it a slightly different way. So this void form here, you can see is ticking out way. That's all, right? I prefer it a slightly different way. So this void form here, I prefer it a different way. It's those kinds of choices where you're like, yeah, I prefer it a different...
I'm buying it. I'm buying this shit. Holy fuck. Oh, hold up. A massive, huge dick appears from your junk and slaps them? Bro. Hello? Yo. I love that. Sign me up, baby.
The first blue note for
Damn.
patch, and it's for Midnight.
Damn. Alright, boys. This is an amazing change, by the way. Love that. Hold up. Rogue. Checking rogue. Class change. Alacrity has been redesigned. Haste increased by 1 to 3%. Cheap Shot now has a 12-second cooldown. Supercharge now is gonna trigger based on if you are Asa, Sup, or Outlaw. Kingsbane, Adrenaline, or Shadow Dance. Following talents removed. Cold Blood is being removed. Acrobatic Strikes moved only to Outlaw 3. Subterge duration reduced to 2 to 4 seconds. Asa Rogue. Asa has seen numerous changes in Midnight to focus on its core damage over time maintenance and energy management gameplay. We've removed a number of special case abilities from rotation, such as applying Caustic Spatter with Mutilate, and reduces the number of abilities used in cooldown windows. So no more Caustic Spatter, what? Love that. Updated the AoE gameplay to remove the need to enter stealth applied bleeds to multiple targets. You now periodically reapply Garrote and Rapture to use the new Crimson Tempest to spread them at nearby enemies. There have been multiple updates to its hero talents as well as to make them play well within assassination rotation. Energy management and timing. Rogues the deliberately fighters and choosing when to spend energy is an important part of the gameplay. There are strong new rewards for maintaining unbroken strings of envenoms. So no costing spatter, bro. I don't know if I like that. Apex talents. Nothing will save from target from you. Envenom damage increase with 10%. When envenom bonus expires, gain 40% increased energy generation 5 seconds. Wait, does Rogue have energy issues? Chat? Really? Do they have energy issues, Rogues? Only on single target. Interesting, okay. That's gonna help them for sure in that case. After striking Kingsbane, rapid strike a target 5 times over 1.5 seconds. Okay. New talents, more critical strike, energy regeneration increased. Garrote is lasting 4 seconds longer. All damage is increased by 10% when you have Death Mark. Rupture damage increased. I love that. So a lot of talents are focused on getting you more energy. Yeah, here you go. Even Death's Mark gives you more energy. Crimson Tempest rework. Deals damage to all enemies within 10 yards, reduced beyond 5 targets. Copies the longest Garrote and rip onto the 2 other enemies. Costing Spatter now applies by Envenom or Kingsbane instead of Mutilate or Ambush. And no longer requires Lethal Poison. Okay? That's overall a big W for us rogues, by the way. Making your resource management better rotation because you're gonna get more energy, and at the same time they're simplifying your spec by not having you casting Mutilate for costing Spatter and AoE. Okay, I like that. A lot of talents got removed as well. Vicious Venoms, Arterial Precision, Master Assassin, Indiscriminate Carnage removed as well. Beacon Venom Spammer probably. Outlaw Rogue. Factors involved in when to cast Roll the Bones could be complex. Performance relied on a lot of how long you could keep Adrenaline Rush going, and the shortened global cooldown could result in a high rate of actions per minute. In Midnight, we intend for Outlaw to be very approachable rogue spec while still embodying its fantasy of trick, resourceful and sometimes underhanded fighter that is willing to roll the dice and take a chance. Roll the Bones now grants a single bonus of very varying powers. Outlaw no longer uses Vanish offensively, and Adrenaline Rush has a consistent duration but provides a bigger boost while activate. Outlaw gameplay is based around building and spending combo points and managing your energy. Crackshot has been removed, but talents enabling Between the Eyes to reset its own cooldown and stack its bonus multiple times. Aha! Crackshot removed. Between the Eyes has a 45% chance to apply 2 stacks of its bonus to your damage. When you spend 5 more combo points on Dispatch, immediately strike a target with an underhanded Scoundrel Strike for physical dam. When you dispatch, you have 12% chance per combo point spent to hide a bullet up the sleeve. When you hit on 6 bullets, your next Between the Eyes consumes them and it's free. Deals damage is if you spend 6 combo points. And resets. It sounds like they're trying to decrease the APM of Outlaw Rogue. That's what it sounds like, chat. So no longer using Vanish as offensive cooldown, okay? Interesting. What do you guys think about that one, boys? Any rogue players in the chat? What do you think about that? I think that should be an overall good change. Not having to worry about Vanish, etc. Because sometimes you might want to press Vanish defensively, you know? It's not too bad. I like it. Make it more easier to play, I guess. And it's gonna exactly it's gonna help with downtime. Yep, I like that too. Yep, I also agree with you. And also they're simplifying the way that the Road the Bones is working as of this moment. Road the Rise of Faith, providing the combat enhancement of a random power for 30 seconds. This grants you one of the 4 possible bonuses, each of which grants all the bonuses of previous ranks and adds a new bonus. Opportunity total has been updated. Sinister Strike has a 30% chance to hit additional time to grant opportunity. Ace Up the Sleeve has been updated and is now 2.0. Between the Eyes has a 5% chance per combo points to restore combo points on its own. A Restless Blades no longer reduces the cooldown vanish. Yikes. AR got reworked as well. Combat potency increase energy regeneration by 16% instead of 30. Whatever. Loaded dice now improves the result of your next row of the bones by 1 level. Improved AR no longer causes the adrenaline rush to restore full energy when it ends. Killing spree damage reduced by 60%. Not so good though. Crack shot removed. Precise cuts removed. Riposte removed. Triple threat. Swift slasher. Dirty tricks. Ambidexterity also removed. Interesting. Huh. I think energy starvation won't be a problem for Outlaw. I guarantee you that. It's no shot. with the amount of energy you're getting from all sources, I very much doubt so. Still target cap, yeah. Coming to midnight, Sub-Rock had a multiple of overlapping damage increase from cooldowns. Conditional bonuses and temporary effects that needed to be precisely aligned in intuitive ways to produce good damage results. In overly punish players for getting it wrong, and even when getting it right, it could make Subtlety Rock rotation gameplay feel much more rigid. Subtlety Midnight updates are focused on giving cooldowns and their effects a clear purpose while also reducing number of conditional effects on tracked. This will better reward intuitive decisions and produce more reliable damage output and satisfying rotational gameplay. Additional changes are aimed at further improving approachability by reducing total rotational button bloat. Fuck me, man. What are they trying to do? Like, what is the idea of Sub-Rogue? They're trying to shift more of the power attached to passives. No, attached to actives to more passive damage. In a sense that you can't really fuck it up. Right? So for example, whenever you cast your dance, you want to have symbols up. And whenever you pair symbols up, dance, blades together, you know, it becomes powerful combo. They pretty much want to make sure Rogue Discord still saying there's still bad downtime with Sub-Rogue. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you right now. Like, they want to make sure Sub-Rogue does damage during off cooldowns, because during cooldowns is what the Rogue is known for, to do damage. Their goal is to make the time where they don't have major cooldowns to do relevant damage. That's the goal here. At least what I'm reading right now. That is the first impression that gives me. Black Powder deals increased damage equal to 30% of your mastery when it spends 5 or more common points. Symbol of Death increases attack speed by 25%. Deeper Daggers redesigned. Shadow damage increased by 8%. Finality has been redesigned. 30% increased critical strike damage bonus. Ooh, that's fat. Symbol of Death now increases the damage of finishing moves was all damage. Flagellation has been removed. Flagellation removed, dude. Secret Technique is no longer reducing its remaining cooldown per combo point spent. I don't like that. They want to make like Secret Technique like a... So Secret Techniques now is going to be flat CDR. You know, look at this. It's 30 seconds CDR. But it's also affected by haste. So that means even if you're a pleb you're still gonna get the baseline CDR. That's like a Bistio Rat. This reminds me of the Kindling change of Mage, flat CDR on Combustion, Bistio Rat flat CDR on Bistio Rat instead of Barfshot CD management. And this is gonna be the same thing. So they're removing all of the skew of getting CDR by just giving you flat CDR. Yikes. Alright boys, Shaman. Let's fucking get it. Shaman, Restoration, who the fuck cares? Stormbringer. Natural gift, nature damage increased by 2%. I like that. Descending strikes, Ascendance upgrades your next lightning bolt to Tempest. Woohoo! Okay. Elemental Shaman. Storm Elemental lasts 2 seconds longer and Storm Creeper generates 10 more Maelstrom, okay? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Not as good. Tempest chance to occur has been redesigned. No longer triggers based on a Maelstrom spend and now has a 0.3% chance per Maelstrom spend. Is that gonna okay? Is that gonna make me have more Tempest, the same Tempest, or less Tempests? Arc Discharge redesign now causes Tempest to grant a stack of Stormkeeper. Wait, what? Arc Discharge redesign now causes Tempest to grant a stack of Stormkeeper. Bro, if I'm casting back to back 5 Tempest, am I gonna get back to back 5 Stormkeepers? That sounds that sounds pretty insane. No. There's no way that's the case, right? Wait, hold up. There's no way, right? Hold up. There's no way. There's no way. That sounds busted. You guys do understand that 30% of my damage on Shaman comes from Chain Lightning. Right? You guys understand that, right? It's actually true. What the fuck? Rolling Thunder has a redesign, now reduces the cooldown of stun heal 15 seconds. Okay. Awakening Storm redesign now increases the chance by Tempest by additional 0.3% per Maelstrom. Wow. That is insane. I love that. More uptime on Tempests. Enhancement Shaman, Tempest damage reduced by 8%. Oh my god, bro, these plebs. These fucking plebs. These plebs, guys. Plebs. Oh, shit. Fuck did I do? Oops. Totemic Enhance. Increasing Hot Hands value. Mastery increased by 3% on Enhanced Shaman. Wording Elements. They're buffing Tremor damage by 75%. Surging Totem now lasts 25 seconds, was 24. Okay. And the case code has been redesigned, now increase cooldown of Frost Shock by 15 seconds. And causing Frost Shock to freeze target 4 seconds. Okay. Season winds are named to Wind Evo. Interrupting a spell with Wind Shear reduces all. Oh my god! This is insane! Every time I interrupt a target, I get all spell damage taken reduced by 15%. 15% DR on every single change. The question is it gonna stack? Is it stacking? No, it doesn't stack anymore though. That's fine. Static charge, okay. Each specialization automatically learns 1 spell instead of 2 through Shaman talents. Earth Elemental lasts 30 seconds, was 1 minute, and has a 3-minute cooldown, was 5. Okay, I like that. Poison Cleanstone is now a choice against the Tremor Totem, okay. Totemic Recall removed. Stone Bulwark Totem removed? Yo! What the hell? Why are you removing my defensive? Hello? Hello? Hello. Thunderstorm removed. Ah, they're removing Thunderstorm and then giving it only to Eli Shaman. What the hell? Boys, that's a big L, by the way. They're removing Thunderstorm from Enhanced Shaman and from Restoration Shaman. And they're giving it only to Eli Shaman. Okay, let's go downwards. Elemento. Wait now. Hold up. Zortus, thank you for the raid, bro. I appreciate it. I hope you had a good stream. And welcome everybody. We just got to see Shaman changes. We were reading about every other change. And now we will just get into Shaman changes. I don't know if you guys saw it yourself, but we're currently about to read it. We just read about the general changes for Shaman. They're removing Stone Bulwark Totem for us, Totemic Recall, and apparently Thunderstorm has been removed for both Enhance and Restoration Shaman, which is not really ideal, okay? But thank you for the host once again, and I hope you had a great stream. Eli Shaman! Our goal with Elemental for Midnight are to reduce the number of rotation abilities and auras tracked. Eli Thunderstorm is just knockback version? Yes. For now, yes. Make it simpler to engage with Stormbringer talents and add new gameplay for using fire spells in AoE. Oh my god, bro. Don't fucking edge me right now. You wanna make me use fire spells in AoE? That sounds fucking insane. Please. Talk to me like that. Flame Shock can now be replaced with upgrading ability of Voltaic Blaze and applies 6 Flame Shocks and causing a next level burst to hit all Flame Shock targets, similar to previous design of Primordial Wave. Oh my fucking god, boys. I can't hold my excitement here. With the version, we're looking to allow quick transition from Flame Shock to application to the AoE level burst for simplicity and keeping with the demands on for AoE against short-lived creatures. This is an optional talent pad so far who wants to focus on lighting and Maelstrom spenders that's still intended to be viable playstyle. Okay. This sounds like you want to be using Lava Surge procs to like cast in AoE though. Apex Talon build. Tectonic Collapse. Earthshock, Elemental Blast, and Earthquake deals 20% increased damage. Choice against Aftershock. Motherfucker. Ah! Never mind. That is not Apex Talons. Never mind. Earthshock, Ele Blast, Earthquake deals more damage, but now you don't get Aftershock. I like that. That's more consistent, by the way. Molten Rat Lava Burst deals 25% damage. Choice against Master of the Elements. Fuck, this is actually rough. Elemental Resonance, all elemental damage increased by 3%. Choice against Thunderstrike Ward. Wait a second. So isn't Thunderstrike Ward giving you 3% damage reduction? Or am I fucking tripping? Am I tripping? Hold up, am I tripping? Where is the Thunderstrike Ward? Because that sounds like a 3% more DR, right? Where the fuck is it? Fuck me. We gotta take a look at boys. The shield buff. Got you. Increase effective elemental resonance by 2%. Increase chance of Thunder Strike to occur 2% more. Okay, whatever. New talent. Lightning Bolt, Tempest, Chain Lightning, Earthshock, Eleblast, Earthquake deals 15% increased damage to targets affected by Flame Shock. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. They're gonna make me they're gonna make me Flame Shock in AoE or what? Okay. I like that. Okay, that means LMT Totem is back, boys. Voltaic Blaze instantly shocks the target and 5 enemies within 10 yards with the Blazing Thunder, applying Flame Shock and dealing nature damage. Always critical strikes and replace Flame Shock. Flame Shock application logic has been updated to Voltaic Blaze to prioritize enemies, ignore enemies, breakdown control, okay? New talent, Voltaic Blaze unleashes Volcanic Cage, causing next level burst to cast hit all Flame Shocks targets at 80% effectiveness, okay? Hero to the Storm has been redesigned now to reduce the cooldown of stun keep. Okay, fuck you, man. Why are they doing that? Why are they making every single skill-based ability to give you a flat CDR instead of actually getting the CDR from casting spells? They're just making every single spec a cookie cutter shit. Instead of actually learning how to get better resource management, all you gotta do is just get it. That's it. There's no skill to that shit. Thunderstorm is now learned level 30. Earthquake deals nature. Oh my god, boys. This is such a clapper. Every single nature damage enhancer is gonna work on Earthquake now. Every single thing that makes nature damage do more damage is gonna be double tapping into Earthquake too. That is insane change, by the way. This is absolutely broken change here, right here. Write this sentence. This sentence is like, imagine you're like waking up at 3 in the morning and next to you there's like a cold water with ice in it and you jug the whole water. That's the feeling I get when I read the sentence. My fucking god, boys. Fury of the Storms now summons Greater Storm Elemental with Great Lightning Elemental, okay? Erupting Lava deals constant damage, nobody cares. Remove the activation overlay, appears when you have enough Maelstrom to cast Earthshock Elemental Earthquake, okay? Ecostar Great Thundering now has the activation overlay when it's getting an effect, okay? A sound now plays when Aftershock refunds Maelstrom, kick W. Following talents removed. Elemental Equilibrium. Why? Ice Fury removed! Oh my god, that's insane! I love that. No more Ice Fury, kick W. LMT removed. P-Wave removed! No! 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 Why are you removing LMT, bro? Wait! Storm Elemental removed! What? What? Bro! Why did it remove my Storm Melee? What am I gonna be casting, bro? What? No Storm Melee? Bro, what am I gonna be casting, man? What the fuck? Wait. 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 Oh! Fire Elemental? Only Fire Melee? Wait a second. Fire builds back? Hold up, champ. Oh my god, boys. I'm gonna be clapping cheeks. I'm gonna be clapping cheeks like never before, baby. Yup. 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 Okay, boys. Okay, boys. Alright, I'll let them cook. I will let them cook. This sounds good. This sounds good. This sounds good. I don't want to hype it, but it sounds good, okay? Alright. Love that. Love that, boys. Keep it up. I want to see the Apex talents to us, though. Enhanced Shaman. Going to midnight, we're aiming to reduce the amount of information to track when playing Enhanced Shaman. To achieve this, we are looking to reducing the number of buttons, auras, and spells highlights to track while heavily keeping in mind how it feels to play Enhanced Shaman. In addition to the core enhanced changes, we are aiming to reduce the overhead of understanding 2 different hero talents. The hero talents have affected the rotation a bit more than we like to. Okay, so they want to make an enhanced easier spec, okay? I mean, obviously, that's a good choice to them. That's a good choice. They should do that, okay? It's a good choice. Each Maelstrom weapon spent has a 2% chance to cause your next crashing light to ignore its cooldown. Okay. Maelstrom weapon spending abilities have 15% increased damage. Weapon imbues deals more damage. Crash lightning electrolutes the area struck, dealing 50% of its damage 2 additional times or 2 seconds. This sounds good. Okay, this sounds good. This sentence sounds good. I wasn't a big fan of the first one, but now this sounds good. Okay. I guess the overall complexity of the spec is something they're working on, but at the same time they're focused on having a cohesive way to play Enhance. Critical strike, the damage of nature abilities increased by 4. Oh, this is crazy. Critical strike damage of nature abilities increased by 40% of your critical strike chance. Fuck me, man. I mean, you were going mastery haste, right, on Enhance? Is it now gonna be crit enhanced? Like what? Crit haste? And a bit of mastery? Critical strike of nature abilities reduce target movement speed by 6%. Okay. Elemental damage increased by 10%. Each maelstrom weapon consumed reduces stone strike lash CDR. Okay. A raging maelstrom, updated maelstrom weapons can now stack to 5 additional times. Oh my fuck, that sounds insane. That sounds fucking juicy, boys. Primordial Storm has been updated. Centering transforms into a single-use Primordial Storm for 15 seconds after the cast. Right to the light. A right of the light. Where is that, dude? Ascendance reworked for Shaman. It replaces Doom Winds, transforms into the Air Ascendance, unleashing Doom Winds reduces Storm Strike cooldown by 60% and transform auto attacks and Storm Strike into wind attacks that bypass armor. Maelstrom spenders have 0.5% chance to unleash Doom Winds. Up. Where, bro? Right the lighting. I don't see it. Aha! Storm Strike and Lava Lash unleash chain lighting at 100% effectiveness. That deals 20% reduced damage with each jump. Yep. Passive damage, boys. I love that. That's a good change, by the way. That's a very good change. Enhanced Shaman's eating good, not gonna lie. DRE also rewarded just like Elish Shaman, probably. Fire Nova Voltaic Blaze generates 2 additional maelstrom weapons. It has 30% chance to cause Fire Nova eruption fairly damage from Flame Shock. Torment Invocation during Ascendance of Doom Wind, Storm Strike, and Crash Lightning consumes up to 10 maelstrom weapons to discharge Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning at 100% effectiveness. It also discharges Tempest too. Fuck me, man. Enhanced Shaman's eating very good. I'm not gonna lie, boys. Alpha Wolf removed, Elemental Blast removed, Elemental Spirits removed, Hailstorm removed, Ice Strike removed, Legacy of Frostwitch removed, Molten Thunder, P-Wave removed, Unleashing Storms, Witch Doctor Ancestor removed for Enhanced Shaman. Not gonna lie, Enhanced Shaman and Elish Shaman are eating real good. Like, eating real fucking juicy, boys. Warlock. Class Warlock. Curse of Exhaustion replaces Curse of Weakness while active. New curses. Increase cast time of all spells 30 seconds. What 30%, whatever. Casting Mortal Coil, Ground Soul Leech equal to 1% withheld. New talent, Healing Dawn by Drain Life, also heals primary target. New talent, Frequent Traveler, reduces time cast time Demonic Gateway. Casting Curse of Exhaustion, Tongues, or Weakness, curses all enemies within 10 yards of target. Holy fuck, this is insanely good. Demonic Gateway timer cast reduced. I removed Lifeblood, Soul Conduit, Rat Minion, Teaching of Satyr also removed. Affliction Lock. What did they do to Affliction? Hound deals damage to its host and 3 enemies within 10 yards. Increase initial damage of Hound. Damage dealt by Hound has a chance to summon Desperate Soul that casts Fell Close and Carried Swarm. Passive damage. More haste, more mastery, increase agony damage by 10%. Agony now hits another nearby enemy within 15 yards. Amazing. Love that. Cast time of Seed of Corruption. Oh, they're buffing Seed of Corruption. Why is that? Why is that? You don't really cast that shit. You only cast Malefic Rupture right now. Let me check. Agony damage increase 10%. Starts 3 stacks. Increase corruption damage 10%. Soul of Seed. Seed of Corruption now embeds demon seeds into 2 additional enemies. Why are they fucking buffing Seed of Corruption? What is this? Oh my god, it makes sense. They're removing Malefic Rupture. That's why they're buffing Seed of Corruption. Bro, we are so fucking back, baby. We're so fucking back. We're so fucking back. I'm gonna be actually spamming Seed of Corruption like a fucking monkey. I love that. Vile Taints removed, though. Soul Rot removed. Shadow Embrace removed. Why are they removing Soul Rot? Dark Harvest also removed. Kindled Malice. How am I gonna apply Agony stacks now, dude? Seed of Corruption damage increased by 330%. Reduced beyond 8 targets. Fuck me. Agony has a Twin Moon talent. Oh, so every time I cast Agony, it applies to another one. Aha, got you. Yeah. Got you. That was amazing, by the way. A lot of good changes for Affliction Lock. Demonology. Deathstalk more damage. Summons extra guy, more seconds. Felguard more damage. And Felstorm does insane down. Collecting demonic cores, as you use them, it has an increased chance to unleash a powerful attack on target whenever it collects a demonic core. More passive damage, love that. Target cap by 8 targets. New talent, more intellect by 2%, more mastery by 2%. Increased damage dealt by implosion by 5%, which Wild Imp. Love that, boys. Summons 3 Ancient Imps every 15 seconds. Ancient Imps benefits from Wild Imp bonuses. You can only have 3 Ancient Imps at a time. Okay. Cooldown on Felguard. Felstorm is reduced by 10 seconds. Damage dealt to the primary demon is reduced by 10 seconds. How much Imp count is capped to, actually? Nine. That's healthy, I guess, for the game. 3 plus 3 plus 3, sure. Master Summoner is now a 2-point talent, increased mastery by 3%. Count of Cooldown replaces Corruption and has moved to the talent tree. Following talents have been removed. Bioscourge Bombers, Dread Calling, Fell Invocation, Inner Demons. Oh my god, a lot of shit removed. Immutable Hatred removed as well. Soul Strike removed as well. The Handmaster Gambit removed. What are they doing? Imp Gang Boss. Hound of Gurani empowers one of the Wild Imp summons, increased damage by 100%. Wow. Wow-wee! Okay. What about Destruction? Casting Incinerate has a chance to invoke Echo of the Dark Titan power. Members of Titan Destruction flush mine when you invoke Dark Titan power. Increase crit strike by 8% and haste 8%. Chaos Bolt Terrifier invokes the Titan, casting at 50 to 60% effectiveness. More intellect, more mastery. Cataclysm now leaves behind a lake of fire that deals damage. Immolate Wither deals increased damage to enemies. Unholy looks insane. I'll agree with that. Primal Demon Critical Strike increased 20%. Nobody cares. Why on Demon though? Sorry, why on Destro? Improve Havoc sounds fucking nasty, not gonna lie, chat. Increase instant damage by 10% and Immolate Wither damage more. Sheesh. A Ruin is now 2 talent point. Conflagration of Chaos is now 2 talent point. Burn to Ashes removed. A Ritual of Ruin removed. Rolling Havoc removed. Yikes. Unlucky RNG build remove, guys. Dimension Reaper also removed. That's good change. I like the Warlock changes, bro. I like the Warlock changes. I think the most exciting changes are coming for Affliction. They're completely changing the way you play the game. You don't cast Malefic Eruption anymore. You're casting Seed of Seeds right now. Seed spam. Warrior changes? Wait, that's it for Warrior? What is this for Warrior, bro? That's it? That's it? Let me check. Duration of your shouts increased by 20%. Master increased. Your shout abilities have additional effect. Battle shout grants you additional 3% attack power. Alliance cry grants 5% leech and 30% movement speed to allies. Piercing shout radius increased by 100%. Berserker shout radius increased 8%. Intimidation shout cooldown 15 seconds. Okay, I mean, the battle shout grants you additional attack power. That's you, not allies. Running cry though gives every single ally movement speed and leech. That's extra utility for warrior. A little bit more utility for warrior. I like that. Anger management. Every 20 rage you spend reduces the remaining cooldown of close smash, recklessness, and avatar. Menace no longer causes intimidating shout to knock back enemies. Champion spear pulls effect targets towards spear until they are within 8 yards. Thunderclap more damage. Following talents removed. Avatar moved to Fury and Protection talents. So Avatar removed for Arms Warrior. Challenging Might removed. Titan Torment removed. Thunderous Roar removed. Seismic Reverberation removed too. Why the fuck did I remove Thunderous Roar? I like that. Arms. High damage cooldown together. The loss of damage from not doing this correctly every time. This can be very high. We're keeping focus on Colossus Smash as Adam's most important damage cooldown, and adding some new talents to customize it for different fights. We've also removed some of the Adam's modifiers to their next use one ability, such as Martial Prowess, to make it less complex to determine the best rotational ability to use. Finally, we are improving Sweeping Strikes to keep Arms solidly in place as champion of 2 target cleave. They're making Arms will do more to target damage. They were already good at that though. Let me check something interesting, guys. Wait, is cleave now 2 target capped? What? No way. Anger management moves to a class Talent 3. Juggernaut removed. Warbreaker removed. Sweeping Strikes. Your next 12 damaging single target abilities within 30 seconds hit one additional target within 8 yards for 75% damage. Execute inflicts deep wounds to the target, causing high damage over 6 seconds. Interesting, guys. What do we think about that one? Fury Warrior. Anything interesting here, guys? I wanna see target cap lifts. When you would sustain a fatal damage, you fly into the unstoppable rage, becoming unkillable and immune to movement, impairing effects for 8 seconds. As you seek revenge on your would-be killer. If you kill your killer in this time, you emerge triumphant from your rage within at least 20% health. If you're not victorious, you die. This effect occurs only 5 minutes. Wait, that reminds me of a class In Heroes of the Storm, there was a guy, I think it was called Berserker, where whenever it dies, it turns into a immune guy and it hits you mega hard. So Fury Warrior will have cheat death or what? If you kill the player that killed you within 8 seconds, you resurrect. Yeah, Zhu Jin, exactly. And Trundamer from League of Legends, exactly. A Rampage replaces Slam. Onslaught removed. Ravager removed. Fury Warrior. Unhinged removed as well. Dancing Blade removed. What the fuck? Interesting. Protection Warrior. What are they doing? Anger Management removed. Last Stand Rend also removed from them. Fueled by Violence now heals for bleed damage from a Rend and Deep of Wounds. Avatar into Colossus for 20 seconds, causing you deal 20% increased damage and removing all root and snares 1.5 minute cooldown. Hello, Jack. Elemental doesn't have Ice Fury next season. Fury Warrior hasn't, Protection Warrior hasn't changed as much. We're pleased that the major spec word protection received in Ghost of Karesh has been successful, so we're comfortable letting things settle a bit more. Most of the changes protection has received are due to several talent moving to the warrior class to rework. In Midnight, we are positioning Thunderclap to be primary AoE threat tool and focused Revenge towards dealing additional damage with your excess rage. To that end, Revenge has been changed to allow the warrior to choose which version best suits them. Interesting, guys. They're keeping Protection Warrior mostly the same though. Fury Warrior gets a cheat death, but nothing has been said about Fury Warrior target caps. We've added some powerful execute talent to make the condition about when to use sudden death less complex for players who enjoy it. We've added some bonus to make critical strike a more appealing style for Fury Warriors and added some new AoE talent options. We also reinforcing Bloodthirst to make it a reliable, satisfying button to press and create a rhythm to Fury rotation. Lastly, we're simplifying some of the rotation conditions involving Enrage. What do you mean simplifying rotation for Fury Warrior? Fury is already 3 buttons. What are you simplifying about?